Now I know Square said that after adding the Viera, there would be no more new races, but I'm asking, can we get just one more? I really want to have an option of being a Laperette. Talk about a complete U-turn. I thought going to the moon would be the end game for this expansion. Turns out it's really only just the beginning. Now, before we get into this, I should warn you, there will be some spoilers here, people. I try to talk about things in generalities to kind of avoid this type of thing, but I don't think we can really talk about what I've experienced so far in Endwalker without going over some minor spoilers here and there. Everything you thought about this expansion and the way it would play out, basically did. It's just, that was only half of it. You've been warned. Now let's get into this. What is this, day 5 of my Endwalker main story experience? And I have to say, whoa. The game still has some of the same issues that I had before. There's just too much damn talking, and actually not enough playing. But now, it's starting to make a little bit more sense on why that had to be. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Square, and I'm just loving it. We made it to the moon, we fought Zodiac. I thought it was time to pop the champagne, and nope! Turns out Zodiac and the A scene on the moon wasn't even the real issue. I mean, they were an issue, they were like kind of part of the issue, but they're more like sub-bosses. It turns out there's an even bigger threat than them. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the Laperettes for a second. My god, these things were such a breath of fresh air. I have to tell you, I was over it. I was skipping cutscenes like a madman. I was just tired of the political nonsense. The world is ending, people. Put that stuff behind you for a moment. I was tired of all the monologues that would just go on and on. The Laperettes managed to do both things that Endwalker, in my opinion, has been severely lacking. They added fun. Don't get me wrong, they have a lot of info they have to dump on players too. So sit back because it's movie time, but they make it interesting by injecting a little hilarity into it. And also, they weren't about politics or any of that other nonsense. They had one job, and damn it, they were making sure it was done to the best of their abilities. They may be huggably cute, but people, you are actually looking at some of the smartest creatures in the entire galaxy. You can't even say Eorzea because they don't even live on the same planet. So anyways, I'm like, we beat Zodiac, but instead of like fixing everything, it actually made everything worse. The sky is now literally on fire, and people are turning into monsters at the slightest bit of despair. They even had this one guy who turned into a monster just because he was worried about how much money his business would make the next year. Something's definitely wrong here, people. Do you remember the ending of Final Fantasy XV? Terrible game, but it had some good ideas, but that's another topic. And how Noctis disappeared for like 10 years and how the land became covered in darkness and monsters are running rampant. How you got to see none of that, and how it would have been really cool to kind of play that bit of the game. Square learned from that, and you get to see crap hit the fan from the ground level. It really lets you feel the gravity of what's going on in this world. What makes it better is that the main characters are all in the dark about why it's even happening. This is the good storytelling I've been waiting for. I just hate how I had to sit through so many multiple Senate meetings just to get to it. With the Scions so confused on what the hell is even happening, the first solution they come up with is to look to the past. You know what I'm talking about. It's time to Avengers Endgame this, people. We time traveling now. Let me tell you, I feel that Yoshi P was sitting in the theaters in 2019 watching Endgame, and he was like, I want that in my game. Now, before you groan, let me tell you, it's actually kind of cool. Why? Because you get to meet Emmett Silk before he went a little genocidal, and he had to kill him at the end of Shadowbringers. And not only that, but you finally get to meet the face behind the voice of Hydaelyn. People have been waiting almost 10 years for this moment. This is Final Fantasy at its best. The way a wrench is thrown to Scion's plan at the last minute, the years of build-up finally paying off. This is great. I can feel this is all coming to a head soon, so I can't wait to see how this all comes to an end. If you want to join along with me to see how Endwalker comes to an end, you can either click the follow button here and see more of my impressions, or you can catch me live over at Twitch at twitch.tv/QuantumSX. Thanks for joining me. My name is Quantum, and I'll see you next time.